Karyn Bryant for MMA H.E.A.T. I'm here with Ronda Rousey, who is the UFC Women's Bantamweight Champion. And, you know, we're only like 10 days or so out from the fight. You're in a great mood. Is there something about this finally coming to fruition, the fact that you finally get in there and mix it up with Miesha that's putting you in a good mood?
I'm generally in a good mood. It's just when I'm around her, you know, I'm in that aggression mode, and I can't fake being in a good mood. Sorry.
Well, you say the fake word because yesterday on UFC Tonight, you were asked to describe her in one word, and that's the one you chose. Why is that?
I would say that's pretty self-explanatory. She's very conscious about how she comes off, and I'm very conscious of just my goals and morals. Yeah.
You talked during the lunch about things that went on behind the scenes at The Ultimate Fighter, and I think that's contributing a huge amount to why you feel that way about her. There were some things that we missed on the show and that you think were edited in favor of her?
Yeah, I mean, I gave you guys the best rundown of it as I could. I hope you can include all of it. But yeah, there's a lot, and there's a lot of things that happened that they specifically told me to stop mentioning because they wouldn't put it in the show. And yeah, I had to wait for a live venue to really get a lot of it out. And I just remember when they came over to Bulgaria, I remember looking the woman in the eyes and being like, I'm not going to forget any of this. You can try and stuff it. You can try and shut me up. I don't forget shit. Sorry, am I allowed to swear? No.
You are. This is where, yeah, you can do whatever you want here.
Okay. Well, in that case.
Merry Christmas, everybody. No, you know, it's interesting, too. It's one other thing that you said, which I'd like you to elaborate on if you could, is basically you said you would take the hit. You would look like the bad guy on the show for the sake of the girls on your team. Can you explain that a little bit more?
Well, if you saw the Batman where he had to make Aaron Eckhart look like the good guy and then himself look like the bad guy because that's what Gotham City needed, you know, the women's division is Gotham City and I am Batman. And Miesha's Scarface.
Okay, there's a lot I could say about that. I'm imagining it actually brings me to my next question. So she's talked so much about defending the armbar, and there's some speculation going around that you might prefer to beat her in a different way, maybe knock her out. Is there any truth to that, or do you feel like however you end it, and that's cool?
I never say that I want to beat anybody by an armbar. This is not a changing question. I always say that I try to win the quickest and most efficient way possible. And what happened when I was doing judo as a kid, I started being really well known for my armbars, and then I started pinning everybody because everyone was so conscious of the armbar that they were leaving other things open. And so her being so overly conscious of the armbar would definitely make a lot of other finishes much more easy and accessible. So I'm just trying to keep an open mind and see whatever is available and go to the first available finish.
How happy will you be to have this over with? I know the rivalry has certainly been good for you. It's been great for her, and it's been good for the sport. But are you over this? Are you ready? You know, really ready to just stop having her name in the conversation?
I think that for our first fight, it was really necessary, and it's really one of the reasons why I really tried to instigate it from the very beginning, because, you know, I wasn't in an immediate title contention spot. I needed to get people to demand it, and to create an argument is a way to get people to demand it. And a lot of people weren't paying attention to women's MMA in general, and so it was a lot of way to generate a lot of attention. But I think with my fights with Sarah Kaufman and Liz Carmouche, I'm very cool with those girls. You know, they're awesome, and the fights are very successful. And I really think that my career and women's MMA has matured past the point where I don't need to put myself in a situation where I need to be constantly instigated anymore. Not just from her, but, like, you know, from a lot of the media as well. You know, they ask me a lot of loaded questions, and they really try to, like, bring up a lot of, like, other things that have been said before to try and get a rise out of me. And you know, it was a necessary evil before, but I really believe that I'm past that point, and I'm looking forward to moving on.
Nice. You know, there was at the Ultimate Fighter finale, I know you said you haven't been checking your @mentions and stuff, but people reacted very strongly to your interview with John Anik, you and Miesha together. Have you seen that? Did you ever watch a playback of that?
Yeah, there were a lot of things going on that day.
That's what I wanted to ask you. At what point were you aware of what happened to Paul?
Right as I was walking into the venue, I was told about what happened. And not only did we had Jessamine and Peggy fighting each other, which was really difficult for, you know, to watch, because, you know, Jessamine had been training with us before the show, and she lives with me now. But I mean, it was like, it was very difficult to watch them both fight each other. And you know, with Davey and Jessica, and it's just it's heartbreaking to watch people, you know, go through an experience like that. It just sucks. And on top of that, I mean, I remember right after, like the second after Davey lost, someone walks up to me and they're like, "Hey, Paul Walker died. Didn't you hear? Like, did you hear it yet?" And like, it was just a constant parade of people like coming up to me and saying things like that, like it was just a piece of gossip, and they wanted to be the first one to tell me so they could like be the first one to see my reaction. They were trying to like get a reaction out of me, and I was just like, no, this is a real tragedy, and this, like, you know, his family's really devastated. This isn't gossip. And I was pretty much just disgusted with how everybody was treating it and what I was seeing my kids go through. And I didn't even want to be there. I wanted to be in camp. I was only there because Dana specifically asked me to go. And you know, I was trying my best, but it was hard, and I don't have any bullshit about me. If I don't want to be there and I'm in a position where, you know, I'm being stood in front of Miesha and there's someone in the middle trying to instigate some sort of argument, you know, I realized that John's just doing his job. But I mean, it was just a terrible time for me, and I wasn't gonna pretend that I was about to go buy myself a stick of bubble gum.
You mentioned that Jessamyn has been with you. I saw Josh Barnett the other day. We were talking about Shayna. You know, he's trained her for a long time, and he wanted her to move to Los Angeles years and years ago. How come you were able to get her to do it? Because I think it's fantastic.
Well, my strategy to get people to move here is I'm like, just come visit, just come down for a little bit. And then, you know, I have like a little bit of beach house in Venice, and I just show people a very, very good time, and I train them very, very, very well. And it just gets to the point when they go home, they're like, well, home sucks. I just show them such a good time where they want to come back. And it was so funny that, like, when Jessamyn and Shayna were there, I was looking at Marina. I was like, Marina, can we keep her? Can we keep him? Can we keep him? Can we keep him? And then so I would just manifest it all the time. So I would just say, before they even said they were moving there, I'm like, so when you guys move here, and I would just talk about it like it was a foregone fact. And yeah, I do a lot of manifesting. So
well, and now you're the four horsemen: you, Marina, Shayna, and Jessamyn.
Yeah. And me and Shayna had a bit of an argument about who was going to be Anderson and who was going to be Ric Flair. And I was like, I'm Ric Flair, like, you know. So we eventually came to an agreement.
Well, that's very cool. And you know, one of the things people love to say too, based on, I guess, the finger gesturing on the show, is that Ronda Rousey's been spending too much time with the Diaz brothers, and Ronda Rousey thinks she's a Diaz. What do you make of all that?
There's a reason why we all got along so well from the very beginning. Yeah. You know, I wasn't like some, you know, some post-communal, like, you know, little basking light America pageant, little baby of sunshine when I walked over there. And I always loved playing the heel, like the villain role. That's why we're the four horsewomen, you know. It's just, I always kind of I thought that the bad guys were more interesting. Yeah. And in my house, it's just kind of like it's a bunch of very, you know, very successful, very academic women that feel like they should be able to swear whenever they want. I remember my sister, who was actually a very well-renowned sports journalist, she just tweeted out, she's like, to all the people saying that our family must be so ashamed of Ronda for how she talks on the show and of her vulgar language, you don't fucking know us. And I was like, I love you so much.
I have to admit, when you did the coaches challenge, and at first when you flipped her off, I was like, well, there. And then the fact that you committed fully all the way down, I ended up just almost crying, laughing, because I was like, you know what? She went all in. Yeah. It was kind of brilliant at that point. I thought it was kind of great.
Yeah, it was really funny, actually. I only watched that. I never watched the show, right? But it was when I was at the finale, and they were playing it with the sound off. Like, while I was standing there waiting to do one of those interviews, I saw for the first time. I couldn't help but giggle. I was like, God, that is actually
it's funny. It's funny. And regardless of how I think anybody feels about Miesha or whatever, it was just funny. Your commitment level, I thought, was kind of genius. So.
Oh, yeah. I'm not going to smile on your face and, you know, bitch behind your back. If I don't like you, then I'm doing to make it known that I don't like you. And they kept instigating us, and we made a promise that we wouldn't do anything back. And so the only thing I could do back was just show my opinion. Yeah.
I know I'm running short on time here. A couple things I wanted to talk to you about, a slightly more girly, is your the fashion that you've been doing on the show. I know you like to cut the stuff up. Where did that come from? Is that something that we could see maybe at some point, your own signature line of T-shirts and stuff? Because I think it's cute. The stuff is nice.
I don't know. It was Marina's thing. Yeah. She started doing it, and then one day we got bored and we started cutting some shirts. Because we keep getting like these really cool T-shirts, but they'd be like big and oversized. And we started just trying to thinking of like little cute artsy crafty things to do around the house because I'm so beat up all the time from training. I don't want to go anywhere and do anything. So we went to Michael's and we got a bunch of fabric scissors and we just started doing it, you know, on our off time. And then, yeah, we got to go on the show, and it was like we had the same like 5 shirts to wear for 6 weeks. I was like, I need to shake things up a little bit. So I started just cutting them up different every day. And there'd be mornings we'd wake up and I'm like, I haven't cut a shirt yet. And so I wake up extra early to cut a shirt right before we went into the gym that day. So yeah, it's just a hobby. I don't know if there's demand for them or not.
Well, I thought it was nice that they showed on the show that you made it for both teams as well.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, they actually did. That they showed some of the girls from Miesha's team getting them done by you as well, which was nice. So you weren't completely villainized.
Yeah, whatever. But I mean, it's funny they show me just, you know, flicking off Miesha and Caraway, but they didn't show that every single fight, regardless of who won or lost, I shook the hand of whoever it was that fought and all the other coaches on their team. You know, they just pick and choose what they like to show, and they like to think that, oh, if they spend one episode making me look like terrible and one episode making me look okay, it somehow balances out. No, it doesn't balance out because it's just it's not a real tell of what really happened.
But isn't it show the progress of women's MMA that we're now allowed to have a villainess, and that we don't all have to, you know, that you guys don't all have to be touchy-feely friendly, that it's okay now that we can have villains and everybody can play different parts?
If there weren't any villains, if I didn't take on that role, there wouldn't be any Women's Ultimate Fighter that happened.
And my last question is, are you still playing the Dragonvale? Because my daughter could use some gems.
I tried giving her gems, and then I got the share thing, it like quit. I tried like 20 times, and then like when I finally got to the point where I can scroll down long enough to find her name where it didn't quit, it like wasn't highlighted, it wouldn't let me do it, and I kind of just stopped playing after that. I got so frustrated with it. But
well, thank you for trying.
I really did try. I spent like a good 20 minutes, and it's just like there's like a glitch in the program when you scroll down because I have so many friends on there. Yeah, so tell her I'm sorry. I tried.
Well, thank you, and I appreciate you taking the time to talk to us today. I'll be out in Vegas. It's going to be great. I was really thrilled to be there the first time, and I have to explain. The very last thing is when you came out of the octagon, you know, usually people come back and they walk right to their dressing room. I was getting up to go back to the media room. You went over to your fans. I see you right when you're walking out of the cage, and I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled the first women's fight went down. I mean, I was like, what's up? Oh, I can't congratulate you. Like, so it was this funny moment that people like, I saw you, but then I totally panicked. So I wasn't trying to like
nonpartisan.
I wasn't trying to throw you shade that day.
No, I wouldn't even. Don't worry, I had a lot of things in my mind. I didn't walk out of there and be like, Karyn Bryant. Like that wasn't. I had too much going on, but
you absolutely.
It's nice to know that you think you're that important.
Oh, damn! I'm tapping out of the interview. Thank you, champ. Good job.
You roll with it. You see the fun in the jabs. This is just a lot of it's just fun. Jesus.
I'll go cry in a corner now. No, it's good. Thank you. Have a great fight.
Thanks.